Remember when everyone said that Donald Trump was acting like a king in the sense that the only requirement for not being accused of Trump derangement syndrome is just doing whatever Trump said whenever he said to do it? It wasn't about any new idea of making America great again. It was about worshiping the man personally. Now, a lot of people came out and said, "Oh, that's crazy, Florida Maquis. You're suffering from TDS. And it's not about that. We have an idea that he's just making manifest in America and you don't like it." Well, guess what? Marjorie Taylor Greene just proved that this isn't about an idea. It's not about MAGA. It's not about America. It's about a man. Now, I'm sure everybody's already probably typing, "Oh, how dare you invoke Marjorie Taylor Greene? She's horrible. Don't you hear that she's..." What has she done? Oh, that's right. She abandoned the president on the Epstein files, meaning that having been apprised of things in classified briefings, she realized something. Now, here's the key. On every other major topic, she agrees with the president. Here's her campaign from way back when. Marjorie Taylor Greene, save America, stop socialism. You see, she's still pro-gun. She's still pro-family. She still hates socialism. She still wants to make America great again. She's still anti-immigrant. She's still seen as being on the right side of COVID, on the right side of the free speech argument. What's the difference? The only difference now is that when it comes to the Epstein files, she has a very serious problem with Mr. Trump's involvement in them. And now, because she no longer worships the man, all of her other ideas don't matter, do they? You see, here's the psyop. That's what this channel talks about a lot, psychological operations. If it were an election tomorrow and she were the Republican representative against any Democrat, what would you do? If an election were tomorrow and control of the U.S. House of Representatives hinged on voting either for the Republican or the Democrat, pardon me, would you listen to the president and not vote for her? Or would you vote, hold your nose and say, "Well, we got to keep Republican control. We got to keep Republican control"? Well, Florida Maquis, I wouldn't vote. Well, that's technically a half a vote for a Democrat, isn't it? You see the point? All of her other ideas don't matter. All of her other ideas, regardless of how much you agree with them, don't matter if she has crossed Trump. And that is why long ago people said this isn't about an idea, because his ideas have changed. His ideas have flip-flopped. And as long as he says it, it's always the right thing. That's why people have said it's a cult. It's a cult of personality. Case in point, how many drug boats have been seized since this whole issue with kidnapping Maduro and his wife? None. But we've seized 7 oil tankers. We've seized 7 oil tankers, not a single drug boat. Not one single drug boat. The power of psyops, manipulating minds for strategic advantage. Brand spanking new video, breaking news alert. Breaking news alert. Brand spanking new video over at the Florida Maquis Patreon channel, talking about how when correctly and tactically applied, psyops works every single time it's tried. If you'd like to get read in, if you would like to get brought up to speed on how psychological operations work, how to defeat them, join us, Florida Maquis Patreon channel. Love to have you over there. Huge core group of folks over there every month that joins us for the training. 4 levels, entirely up to you, whatever God puts on your heart. The best part is 90 days. 90 days, and you get a full refund. Kick the tires. Go watch videos that have been put up since all the way back in the first Trump administration. And if it's not for you, 90 days full refund, no questions asked. Now, let's get right to it. Folks, what happened to the argument with fentanyl? Before the invasion that kidnapped two elderly people out of their beds in the middle of the night, invasion that is technically, according to the president, not a war, even though it involved 15% of deployed naval forces, hundreds of aircraft, and killed 200 people. Technically, not a war. So, didn't require Congress. But also, because it was a law enforcement operation, didn't violate posse comitatus. Based on the lie that the reason we were doing it was to try to stop fentanyl. Not one word about fentanyl since. Not one word about fentanyl since. Mark my words, folks. If fentanyl is a WMD, which the president has said, so are your guns. Now, here's a psyop a lot of people don't get. Why? Because they don't take their thought life to the next level. I've said this before, I'll say it again. The art of psyops requires your targets to be in an emotional state. They can't be thinkers. I'm sure a lot of people look at this and they totally agree with it. And I agree with it. Guns don't kill people. People kill people. Isn't that the case? Okay. What's the psyop with that, Mucky? I don't understand. What are you saying? So if guns kill people, I guess pencils misspell words, cars drive drunk, and spoons make people fat. Get to it, Mucky. We get this. We get the idea. What is it? Do you see the psyop? If guns don't kill people, then neither do nuclear weapons. And what's the argument for, Mucky? Venezuela was in bed with Iran. And can you imagine Venezuela's oil wealth assisting Iran in them achieving a nuclear weapon? Well, what's a nuclear weapon but just a different kind of a gun? If you don't think that's the case, look it up. Look up gun-type nuclear weapon. It's just a different application of ballistic weaponry. And I'm not talking about the delivery system. I'm talking about how a gun-type nuclear weapon works. You see, people drop bombs. Bombs don't drop bombs. People do. Before the Mucky, the Iranians, they'll nuke Israel. They'll nuke Israel. There are 9 nuclear powers in the world right now. The United States, France, China, Great Britain, Pakistan, India, Israel, undeclared, and North Korea. If Pakistan wanted to nuke Israel based on Islam, they're closer to Israel, Pakistan is, than Iran is. And if you want to talk about aberrant people that are completely diametrically opposed to Western values, North Korea, Pakistan, and India. I know India, they're our ally. They have a caste system. They have a caste system in India that makes feudalism from the Middle Ages seem positively modern. Shall we talk about the Chinese? Believe me, if there was a desire to take Israel out, there are 4 countries out there right now who could do it. 3 of them for sure would have reason. China, Pakistan, North Korea, India. You know, they are definitely not none of those are Judeo-Christian states. There are 9 nuclear powers out there. Besides, even if Iran were to get one particular nuclear device, it's also the idea of a delivery system to get it there. But once again, bombs don't kill people. People kill people. And speaking of the military, tangentially, there's a brand new story out of Hawaii that proves there was a reason we didn't go in and in, I guess what you would call a constitutional war footing sense and go try to take over Venezuela and get rid of socialism that way. How many of you have heard that the first visitor to Venezuela, to the new president of Venezuela, now with Maduro being gone, is, well, Nicolas Maduro's choice for vice president a woman named Delcy Rodriguez. And for her first visitor, with a check for $350 million in hand, was the head of the United States CIA. First visitor to Venezuela. But why didn't we attack? Because our soldiers are pussies. Florida Maquis, that sounds totally un-American. All of you out there right now who are Gen X and older, listen up to this. Listen up to this and tell me if this doesn't make you want to fucking puke. You ready for this? Army doubling up soldiers in Hawaii barracks to meet housing demand. Now wait until you hear what the poor soldiers in Schofield barracks are having to endure. Oh my gosh, it's so horrible. Wait until you hear this. The Army is assigning roommates to soldiers in barracks in Hawaii as it adds more troops to the region and continues renovating several aging facilities on Oahu. Army leaders met Tuesday with troops to detail their plans to house single soldiers during a planned buildup of roughly 690 service members this year on the island. Now, this will give you an idea how tiny a group this is. 700 soldiers. According to U.S. Army Garrison Hawaii Commander Colonel Rachel Sullivan, the service is placing the roughly 690 service members into 350 rooms that share a bathroom and kitchen with another room of 2 soldiers. Now think about that for just a fucking minute. You have 2 guys in a room, and there's a common kitchenette and common shower area that's connected to another 2, basically like it's a hotel. It's basically like a hotel. But you ready for this? Hold on to your hats, guys. The arrangement violates current Army regulations, which require that lower enlisted ranks live with no more than 1 other person in a place with a minimum square footage standard and shared bathroom and kitchen or kitchenette for 2. Are you fucking kidding me? In my entire service career, I never had a room to myself. I shouldn't say that. I got lucky at the Presidio of Monterey, the language school, and it was only a fluke. I was in a room designed for 2 guys, and the guy that I was in that room with, he graduated. And the time between when he graduated, because he was ahead of me in class, and a new person was assigned was about 4 months. But everybody else in the barracks all had 2. And at Fort Huachuca, we had 4 guys in one room, no shared bathroom, no shared kitchen. We had one giant, huge room. There was no kitchen to begin with at all in the barracks, anywhere. No kitchen, no kitchenette. Just freaking one big, giant shower room. There was one for us and one for the females on the other side of the hallway. And there was 40, 45 females, 100, 120 guys, all in the unit together. The only place you could eat was the chow hall. But Sullivan said the Army has given the command a 15-month waiver as it finishes the renovation of 2 barracks so that everybody can have their own kitchenette and their own bathroom. To ease overcrowding in the reconfigured rooms, the garrison has ordered $1 million worth of furniture, including beds, foot lockers, and other storage units, which are expected to affected troops have voiced concerns over quality of life issues in the new barracks, some of which are now at 200% capacity, parking, trash, comfort, and access to laundry and kitchen appliances, especially in places. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me right now? Here's some guys from the 1990s, late 80s. I guarantee every guy you see here was in a barracks that was just one giant alley full of bunks and wall lockers. And you had the head. And it was just a row of sinks and a row of fucking urinals and a couple of stalls with commodes and one fucking giant shower room. And that's how these guys lived their entire military career. I know a lot of people don't like this issue, but this is the reality now. We hand out food cards where you can take a food card into a frickin' Subway and you can order 3 meals 3 entire meals worth of food at the subway. The subway will be reimbursed. And you can take that home with you. And you don't have to pay a dime. Oh, and the military thinks it's too cruel. It's too cruel to shoot pigs to help train medical soldiers on how to stitch up wounds. It's too cruel to the piggies. One of the most dangerous pest animals, at least in the South. But these guys are supposed to be the guys that are going to go defend you in a war when they think it's too cruel to shoot piggies? I promise you, this soldier in the center here ain't running no 2 miles at any pace. Soldier on the left, got hair bun hanging down over the collar. Soldier on the right, does not look like an authorized jacket, hand in pocket. Unreal. Oh, and here's the real Billy Badass guys. the National Guard going to, deal with issues in Portland or wherever the hell. Look at the marching. Look at the feet. The guy calling cadence, he's on his right foot. This person here on their left foot. This guy back here who decided he doesn't want to show up in knee pads for the day, he's on his left foot. Another guy over here on his right foot. This guy here doesn't even have any kind of glass covering your face shield. Neither does the guy calling the formation. This guy back here's calling the formation. He's carrying something in his hand. I mean, talk about one of the most ate-up looking, ridiculous. This guy's staring at the camera instead of straight ahead. Discipline is discipline for a reason. We have discipline for a reason, but it's sad to say that, there's a representative of Congress that has more physical, esprit de corps than most of our military. And once again, she's proven that it's a cult. She's proven that it's God worship. Why? Because she still agrees with 99% of the things the president agrees with, but she departed from him in one aspect. She departed from the guy in one aspect, and now he's called her all sorts of filthy, horrible, terrible names. So you'd have to ask yourself the question. What would you do? Kind of a hard thing to think about, isn't it? But if you're a thinking person, it goes to psyops, isn't it? And this is what we talk about at the Patreon channel. Well, gosh, America's the greatest nation on earth, right? Well, if the greatest nation on earth has a two-party system, then that must be the greatest way of governing things. So therefore, anybody who says anything different is what? That's right, anti-American. So you just fall right in line. The power of psyops. Manipulating minds for strategic advantage. I'll leave it there. God bless. Folks, love to have you at the Patreon channel. I know people like Florida, I'm like, hey, you don't make very many videos on YouTube anymore. That's right. I don't. The Patreon channel is the focus. It's the reason we're still here both places. So I don't prefer it that way. I wish it was the way that we did things way back in the era of Antarctica. But you have to adapt. You have to just accept reality for what reality is and move forward. So God bless. Pray for each other. Pray for me. I'll pray for you. Lift each other up. Like, share, subscribe. I'll see you guys next time.